there. That seems to be all right.
Well, I'll try.
But, Julia, I do wish you wouldn't rehearse. It's not
I'm not a bit superstitious, and besides, I want it to be right.
Doctor, don't you think that was much too slow? It seems to me we should try it again. Don't you think so, Seton?
Oh, yes, dear. The ceremony should be perfect.
I'm sure it will be.
Just tell the organist to play slightly faster.
Will you play the wedding march just a little faster, please?
Very well.
And, Doctor, don't you think that we need more rehearsal?
Well, it seems all right to me.
Seton and I are glad to rehearse.
Well, it's Johnny and Julia that are getting married.
Doctor, don't you think we should rehearse the part of the ceremony where Seton, as best man, gives the ring to Johnny? That's generally very awkward.
If you like.
Well, I stand there.
And I say...
Now, Doctor, show Mr. Case what he does with the ring.
When I ask for the ring, Mr. Cram will place it upon the book. I then proceed to the altar, followed by the bride and groom. At the altar, I bless the ring, turn, and give it to the groom, who will place it upon the bride's finger, holding it there, while he repeats after me, "With this ring, I thee wed. In the name of the Father..."
But, Doctor, don't you think the other way is preferable?
But, Mrs. Cram, this is the correct way.
But surely, Doctor, Seton and I were married in a correct fashion. And I remember distinctly that the minister gave the ring to Seton, who in turn gave it to me, who in turn gave it to the best man. It was George Atterbury. You remember?
Whatever happened to George? I haven't heard of him.
He, in turn, gave it to the clergyman.
But, my dear Mrs. Cram, you insisted upon that procedure.
And you remember at the time, we went into the beautiful symbolic value of that circle.
But that's all founded upon a misunderstanding.
Go ahead, Doctor. Let's not get too involved.
Well, of course you know best. What is the ring, Seton?
I have it.
Nick Potter has it.
But Seton should have it.
Do you think it's wise for him to have it before the actual ceremony, I mean? Think of the temptation it may lead him into. I remember when I was
We'll
a kid
rehearse
about
the ring
14.
business privately,
Splendid.
Doctor. Oh, I do think we should try the walk again. Now, Uncle Ned...
I'm sorry, Laura, but I must be going.
All right, we won't need you. Or Johnny or Julia either. Just the ushers and bridesmaids. Now, suppose we all go back to the vestibule and start over again. Will you speak to the organist, Doctor?
Certainly, Mrs. Cram.
Now, Laura, you're sure that we start on the left foot?
Yes, the left foot.
And you're positive that you want us to go way down to the end of that aisle again?
Nick, please.
You know, Laura has the most delightful way of making one feel absolutely unnecessary.
All she means, all right.
I'll see you folks at the house later.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
head in there, Father.
Your affiliation with Pritchard Ames should be announced now while you're in the papers.
But Mr.
We'll
Seton...
talk it over at the house, Father.
Yes, I can't wait now.
But I'm not going with Pritchard Ames. I told your father that yesterday at luncheon.
But I think Father and Seton have it all arranged. Don't you see, dear, how simple everything will be for us? Won't it, Linda? Perfectly simple, as long as you do as you're told. But that isn't true. That isn't true at all.
What is, then?
Father is being splendid to us.
He's always splendid when he's having his own way.
Well, I doubt if he can always have his own way, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, Johnny, Johnny, will you quit bickering over nothing?
Don't you think we should decide whether or not it is really nothing?
But try it. Just 2 or 3 years.
We must be clear about this before we get in any deeper.
Johnny,
Well, we can't just go on sliding forever.
what is it you want?
I want time to think.
You may have anything you wish, only let's not talk about it anymore.
All right. I'll take you home now.
And when you get there, don't further antagonize my father.
But, Julia, feeling as I do, I can't just sit and listen to him.
Well, then, it's better that you don't come to the house at all tonight.
Oh, all right. I'll just take you home.
You needn't bother. I'll go with Laura and Seton.
I'll call you up tomorrow. Good night.
Oh, Julia, why don't you try to see it Johnny's way?
Because I know mine is the right way. He'll come around.
Are you sure he'll come around, Julia? Are you sure he'll
You
come
only
around?
stop.
I couldn't stand Laura another second.
Let Johnny and me work out our own problems. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Girl bites sister in fashionable church. And no wonder, Linda, I give you my word, if I had to walk down that aisle once more, I would never speak to Susan again. Oh, please, leave this place in our heated barouche. That's the girl.
Nick, you don't know that man. Oh, wouldn't you think she'd know by now that men like Johnny don't grow on every bush? But you see, the things you like in him are just the things she can't stand, Linda. And the fate you say he'll save her from is the one fate in this whole world she wants.
I don't believe it. Even so, she loves him. And there's been a break. And wouldn't you think she'd be woman enough to at least hang on?
Oh, I don't know. There's one woman I know who isn't woman enough to grab.
We're sorry, Linda. Really, we are.
Oh, you're not sorry. What's the matter with me?
Linda, I could shake you.
I wish you would. I wish somebody would until there wasn't anything left to shake.
And there's nothing to be done about it?
If they'd only listen to me. I've got to make them listen.
Yes. It would be a pity to deprive your father of the pleasure of easing Johnny into society. Can't you see it in the papers? Mr. and Mrs. John Sebastian Case have closed their 64th Street house and gone to Coney Island for the hunting. Mrs. Case will be remembered, of course, as the former Julia Seton of Seton Freddy.
Come in, Sam.
Your mind-reading act is terrible.
Well, for the love of Pete, Linda.
May I come in?
There's no one I'd rather see.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Were those your trunks I saw downstairs?
I'm sailing tonight on the Paris.
Johnny.
Alone.
Julia doesn't know?
She wouldn't be interested.
Oh, but...
We've talked for a week. We're farther apart than ever.
She hasn't talked to me. You still have a lot to do.
Yes.
May I help?
Oh, thanks.
Where do you want these?
Oh, here. Over here in the suitcase.
Oh, not like that. Not like that.
Come in. Oh.
Here's your check, mister.
Thanks. There you are.
So you're really going?
Yes, for the first time in my life, I'm going to do what I want to do. And the prospect is at least exciting.
I'll miss you, Johnny.
It's nice to know there's someone who'll miss me.
Oh, Johnny, don't. You know Julia will be unhappy. Not just a little while. Maybe her whole life through. She's never loved anyone but you.
I've never loved anyone but Julia.
Oh, take her with you. Kidnap her if you have to. Well, you can't just go without telling her.
It wouldn't do any good.
But you don't know, Johnny.
But I do.
Oh, quit talking like that. Quit it. Johnny, you've got to try, do you hear? You've got to make her see that you're right.
Even if it takes me a couple of 100 years.
But it won't.
Oh, you're right. It would probably take longer than that.
Oh, you're just plain stubborn. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Linda.
She's worth a try, Johnny.